ghost factory, Russia's secret weapon in Venezuela. It began with a sound, a low trembling vibration that rolled through the industrial outskirts of Puerto Cabello. Long after midnight, windows rattled, dogs howled, and every so often someone would wake with a tightness in their chest, as if the air itself had thickened. Nobody knew where it came from. Not at first, but people noticed something new, something that hadn't been there a month earlier. An abandoned concrete plant, once just a decaying skeleton at the edge of town, was suddenly crawling with activity. Towering steel gates appeared overnight. A dozen uniformed guards, none of whom spoke Spanish with a Venezuelan accent, began patrolling the perimeter. Trucks with no company logos slipped in and out under the cover of darkness. The locals whispered a name: La Fábrica Fantasma, the ghost factory, because whatever was happening in there wasn't normal. During the day, nothing seemed out of place. Workers came and went. Forklifts hummed across the yard. But at night, the whole character of the place changed. Floodlights washed the compound in electric white. Generators roared to life. And that hum, the strange, pulsing vibration, shook the earth in slow, rhythmic waves. Word spread quickly, as it always does in small port towns. Some said it was illegal mining. Others claimed the government was testing a new energy project. But it wasn't until a set of satellite images leaked online that the truth began to take shape. From above, the factory looked wrong. New power modules, Russian in design, lined the outer wall. Fresh earth had been excavated in long trenches behind the building. Air vents protruded from the ground where there had once been nothing but grass. And deeper inside the compound, arranged in a precise geometric pattern, were metallic structures shaped unlike any industrial equipment known to the region. Analysts studying the images gave the operation a code name: Project Volna, Russian for the wave. Nobody knew exactly what was being built underneath that old factory, but the signs were unmistakable. This wasn't a manufacturing plant. It was a military installation, disguised as one, and it wasn't being run by Venezuelans. Before long, stories trickled out from those who claimed to have worked briefly inside. A young engineer, speaking only under anonymity, described a vast underground level built with thick acoustic padding and reinforced concrete. He said robotic arms assembled long, cylindrical metal frames, too sleek to be fuel tanks, too heavy to be drones. And he saw something else, a sealed chamber, a room lined with sensors and steel walls where the nighttime vibrations seemed to originate. On a clipboard outside the door was a handwritten note: V3 module. The engineer didn't know what it meant, but he remembered the instructions clearly. No phones, no recordings, and stay away from the chamber after midnight. Rumors began to spread across intelligence circles. Some believed Russia was constructing a next-generation acoustic defense system capable of producing low-frequency waves strong enough to disrupt sonar, jam communication signals, or destabilize ship sensors. Others thought it might be the assembly line for a new class of long-range reconnaissance drones, ones that could fly silent and undetectable across entire coastlines. Whatever it was being tested just hours from U.S. shores. And that changed everything. Washington's first response was quiet. Subtle increases in satellite passes, longer surveillance routes flown by reconnaissance aircraft, and a steady stream of analysts assigned to monitor every container entering the port. But the more they watched, the more alarming the shipments became. Industrial chemicals that didn't match the factory's supposed operations. Large turbines and crates marked with Russian military transport codes. The ghost factory wasn't just an outpost. It was a foothold for Russia in the Western Hemisphere. Diplomatic channels lit up next. Meetings behind closed doors. Phone calls with Caracas. Offers, threats, promises, anything to slow the construction inside the compound. But Venezuela, struggling economically and isolated politically, found an unshakable ally in Moscow. And allies don't abandon each other easily. As negotiations stalled, a new question emerged within U.S. intelligence circles. If Russia is building a new weapon system only 3 hours from Miami, what happens when it becomes operational? A few officials argued for covert sabotage, cyber attacks, disrupted supply chains, silent complications, the kind no government ever admits to. Others insisted on patience. Observe first. Understand what they're building. Strike only if necessary. But time was slipping away. Each night the hum grew stronger. Each morning, new containers rolled out of the factory gates, bound for unknown destinations. And each week, the underground chambers expanded. And then, The hum suddenly stopped. One night, without warning, the vibrations ceased. The factory fell silent. Floodlights stayed off. To some, it meant the testing was complete. To others, it meant the system had gone online permanently. What lies beneath the ghost factory remains a mystery. A weapon? A surveillance platform? An experiment? Or something the world isn't ready to understand? All we know is this. Russia now has a hidden facility deep inside Venezuela, protected, powered, and possibly operational. And the United States must decide what to do next, because sometimes the most dangerous weapons aren't the ones we see. They're the ones humming quietly in the dark, waiting